The following clip is presented to you by The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, available every Friday wherever you get your podcasts and at extremehardy.com.
He is looking like somebody that is going to be a main event player for years to come in WWE until November 13th, 2005. And that's when Eddie was found unconscious in his hotel room in Minneapolis by Chavo. And there's a really, really heartbreaking but very well done Dark Side of the Ring episode on all of this. He had been brushing his teeth and he passed out, and Chavo discovered him. And unfortunately, by the time the paramedics got there, he was gone. He was just 38 years old. He died of heart failure. I remember as a fan just being decimated by this. I cannot even imagine what it was like being in that locker room. How do you remember finding out that Eddie had passed?
I remember coming to the building that day and walking in, and people were upset. Someone was crying, and then I was told. That's how I learned. And obviously extremely shocking.
Yeah. Because it's not just we're losing a legend here. And he had reached that status. He's an all-time great performer at that point, but this is a guy who was universally beloved in that locker room. Everyone loved Eddie Guerrero. Mm-hmm. How do you remember navigating those next 24, 48 hours with the rest of your coworkers there?
I mean, obviously it's heartbreaking and shocking, and it's like you don't even want to believe it's real. You know, when you hear something like that, especially someone that you work with so much and you spend so much time with them and you have these bonds with them. I just remember the tribute show. We just said, like, if this is the last thing we're going to be able to give Eddie, let's like give it our all and make this special and make it important, just like he would want it to be. It just didn't seem real. It didn't seem real that he was gone.
How long did it take to set in for a lot of the guys out there?
I mean, he was a beloved figure in the locker room, so it was it was tricky. It was tough, you know. But guys, I remember the day of the show, we just tried to make it a celebration of his life and career, mm-hmm. and we tried to honor him in the best way that we possibly could, and just as far as setting in and accepting his death, it just you know, it was tough, but just it's you have to do it, and you know you have to move on. So it was just very sad, very unfortunate. He left us way too soon.
Do you remember your last conversation with Eddie by chance?
The last conversation that I really remember having, and it would have been a while before he died. I mean, just tons of small talk, whatever. Just saying that I was so happy that he got to win the championship and he got to be in the slot of being looked at as like a main event guy, and he's making main event money, and he was just killing it on every degree. And I just remember he said, "Oh, thank you so much, Matt. Like, you know, you and your brother are such sweethearts. It's been such a pleasure to work with you guys and share a locker room with you guys. Thank you so much. That is so sweet of you saying that." And that's just very, very much Eddie's personality too.
Yeah. Well, you did wrestle on the SmackDown side of the Eddie tribute show. They taped both Raw and SmackDown on the same night, and you're on the SmackDown side of it. You beat Carlito after a counter into a twist of fate. And, you know, I hosted DDP Snake Pit, and Dallas told me that he felt Eddie was like the master of the counter and that no one was better at it than him. And Michael Cole even brings that up on commentary, that you win via a counter into the twist of fate, and you pay a little homage. You're wearing an I'm Your Poppy shirt. Do you remember anything about that match and the emotions that came into that?
Yeah, I just remember it was one of those things where it's kind of like a tough day at the office when you're, bereaving someone that you cared about so much. But I just remember that match, me and Carlito, that show was done the right way, where they just said go out and have solid matches. The baby faces win clean, whatever. You know, let's just try and put a smile on people's face because they need it. We need it. So I just remember just trying to do our part and do the best match that we could to honor Eddie's memory at that point.